I never thought I'd find myself writing a post like this, but here I am. I'm a 37-year-old guy who's been married for 11 years, and lately, things have taken a turn for the worse. I'm reaching out here because I'm at my wit's end and I need some advice, some perspective, or maybe just an understanding ear. It all started a few weeks ago when I began noticing some odd behavior from my 35-year-old wife, Rebecca. I've always been a trusting person, maybe too trusting, but something just felt off. Little breadcrumbs, as I like to call them, started appearing, and soon enough, I found myself knee-deep in what seems like a tangled web of deceit. The first red flag was when my wife claimed to be at her mom's place. Innocent enough, right? Well, one of our kids called his grandmother asking when mommy would be home, and that's when the first lie unraveled. Rebecca wasn't there. She had never gone to her mother's house like she said she was. I called Rebecca's cell phone, but she didn't answer, so I left a message asking where she was. I got a text shortly after saying she was on her way home now. When she finally showed up, she looked guilty as hell and like she'd been through a wrestling match. Now, my wife is meticulous about her appearance, so seeing her disheveled and acting guilty was a shock. Her excuse was that she had gone shopping before heading over to her mom's house, but lost track of time. She said the shops were super busy, that's why she looked disheveled. Then last weekend, things took a turn for the worse when Rebecca went out to a work party. She had left her smart watch on charge and forgotten to put it on before she left. The thing was lighting up with messages constantly, and curiosity got the better of me. I couldn't resist the urge to check her messages. I didn't find any graphic evidence, but I did discover she wasn't where she claimed to be. Instead, she was with a group of people I had never heard of. Over the last few months, Rebecca had been getting home from work later and later, claiming that it was a hectic time for the business and everyone was working longer hours. One night, she was late from work again. Everything had been building up within me, and when she got home, it all burst out. I accused her of being with someone I suspected she might be involved with, and her response accidentally revealed there was a him. She quickly backtracked and denied it, leaving me with more questions than answers. I could go on, recounting at least 10 other incidents from our past that now make me question everything. My frustration has reached a boiling point, and I find myself grappling with a series of unanswered questions. Why would someone engage in this kind of behavior? If she's involved with someone else, why not just tell me? If she's unhappy with the marriage, why not ask for a divorce? These are the questions plaguing my mind, and I feel like I'm going crazy not knowing the truth. I finally decided to take matters into my own hands. I knew I couldn't live in the shadows of uncertainty any longer. So I did something I never thought I would. I followed my wife. This might sound like something out of a detective novel, but desperation and a gut feeling led me to this point. I kept a low profile, trying not to be noticed as I trailed her car to a hotel. Once again, she had lied and was nowhere near where she said she would be. My heart sank as I watched her enter, realizing that the breadcrumbs and lies had led me to the undeniable truth. With a mix of anxiety and determination, I parked my car and gathered my thoughts. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what was about to happen. As I entered the hotel, my mind raced with a million thoughts, but the pain of uncertainty had reached a point where I needed answers, no matter how painful they might be. As I entered the lobby, I scanned the surroundings, hoping to catch a glimpse of Rebecca. The atmosphere felt tense, and then, there they were, my wife and the other man, locked in an intimate kiss. I recognized the guy. It was her goddamn boss. Time seemed to freeze as the reality of the situation hit me like a ton of bricks. I couldn't contain my emotions, and the pain of betrayal overwhelmed me. Without thinking, I confronted them right there in the hotel lobby. The ensuing argument was intense, emotional, and utterly public. I accused my wife of infidelity, demanded answers, and emotions ran high. Security was called to manage the situation, and things escalated quickly. It felt like a scene out of a movie, but there I was, in the midst of a very public and humiliating confrontation. As emotions boiled over, security personnel intervened, escorting me off the premises while my wife stayed behind with the other man. The embarrassment, anger, and heartbreak were all-consuming. I never imagined my personal life would be laid bare in such a public manner. It was a painful realization that not only had my trust been shattered, but the fallout was now a spectacle for strangers to witness. Right after the public confrontation, I drove home in a daze, totally numb. Rebecca called me incessantly, undoubtedly trying to explain, apologize, or maybe just to add more confusion to the already tangled mess. I ignored the calls until I was back home and 3 shots deep in vodka. She called again, and this time I picked up. I didn't let her talk. I didn't want to hear excuses. I was sick of the constant lying. I told Rebecca that this would be the final direct conversation between us. I said that we were through, that the trust was shattered beyond repair and divorce was inevitable. I made it crystal clear that any further communication would be strictly through lawyers. I hung up on her before she could reply. The following days have been a whirlwind. My phone has been incessantly buzzing with calls and texts from my soon-to-be ex-wife, desperately seeking reconciliation or perhaps just trying to grasp the gravity of the situation. Family and friends from both sides have been trying to get through to me too. I sent a quick message to my folks explaining what was going on and that I needed some time to gather my thoughts and I'd speak to them soon. Rebecca hasn't come home and the kids are starting to worry about their mother. I told them Mummy is on a work trip and won't be home for a while. I think they can tell something bad has happened and I'm trying to act normal, but it's very difficult right now. I've taken the first step by reaching out to a divorce lawyer. The next week is already marked on my calendar for an initial meeting to discuss the process and how to move forward. The decision to involve legal professionals may seem harsh, but considering the complexity of emotions and the events that transpired, it's a necessary step towards a more structured and objective resolution. It's not an easy road ahead, and I anticipate challenges and emotional hurdles. If anyone has been through a similar situation and has advice on navigating the early stages of divorce, I'm all ears. For now, my focus is on preparing for that crucial meeting with my divorce lawyer. It's time to make decisions that will shape the next chapter of my life, one that I hope will bring healing, growth, and ultimately, a renewed sense of self. Thank you for listening.